everyone. Today we have the honor of introducing you to a remarkable entrepreneur who is redefining the standards of beauty and empowering women through her unique clothing brand. She's a fierce advocate for diversity and self-expression. Desleen, the extraordinary mind behind YeoMama Batik. Back in 2018, Desleen together with Mama Yo have not only created a thriving fashion brand, but also ignited a movement that embraces and celebrates the different styles of beauty that exist within every woman. YeoMama Batik was launched within a short span of just 3 months in January 2018 and have garnered a super strong loyalty base of more than 30,000 followers over a short span of 5 years. As you dive into the captivating story behind YeoMama Batik, you'll discover a journey fueled by passion, resilience, and a deep understanding of the power of clothing to shape our perception of ourselves. Desleen's unwavering belief in the inherent beauty of every woman, irrespective of size, shape, or background, has driven her to create a brand that not only embraces diversity, but actively celebrates it. Stepping into the world of YeoMama Batik is like entering a realm where traditional artistry meets contemporary fashion. The intricate batik patterns, lovingly handcrafted by skilled artisans, weave a narrative of cultural heritage and individuality. With each stitch, Desleen's creations create a space where women can embrace their unique beauty, reject societal norms, and unapologetically celebrate their individuality. So, my fellow listeners, get ready to be inspired, empowered, and enlightened as we explore the unique world of Desleen and YeoMama Batik. Hi, Desleen. Welcome
Hi,
to the show.
Chini. Thanks for having me.
Okay, you're laughing so much.
I don't know what I cannot control.
Okay. Anyway, welcome to the set.
Yes.
Okay, so to start off, right, during the introduction, you guys actually took 3 months before you actually launched the brand. So can you give us a very brief introduction as to how this idea actually even came about?
So I was previously working in an events agency. I was working in 2 different events company. So it's like an events, agency burnout kind of thing. So I decided to quit. I think when I quit, it was around May. So I decided to just do fun jobs. I was playing around, being a receptionist, working at a restaurant, doing all these fun little jobs. And then I play. Then in around September, I fell and injured my ankle. So I needed immediate ankle surgery. So so I was immobile for that few months, and being a very active person, I was very bored at home. Even though, yes, I'm still doing little gigs online, like presentation design and stuff like that, but it's not really satisfying or something that I really see myself doing forever.
Yeah.
So my mom was in Indonesia, Jakarta. So one morning, she just casually called me Des, 你好吗？你的脚怎样? So I remember my leg was in a cast, right? I was lying in bed. I'm like, oh, okay lor, 这样lor. Then after that, she said, do you want to sell batik in Singapore? Because she chanced upon a lot of batik in Jakarta. And I'm just like, oh, okay lor. So that's basically how it started. Yeah, so when she came back from Indonesia with the stash of fabrics, I'm like, wow, the batik very nice. It's very different from the ones that she bought for me when I was younger. Those she bought, I really like the more traditional, flowery, a bit more old fashion style that I wouldn't want to wear. So I was very I wouldn't say very intrigued, but I was really very wowed by it. And then since I'm jobless anyway, so let's just try to make this into something. So during my recovery period, I was thinking, okay, what should the brand name be? What should the logo be? How do I set up a website? How do I do Facebook ads? So everything was just, figuring out on my own at home.
Yeah.
And then because Chinese New Year is in early February, I think for that year. So I'm just thinking we have to get it out by Chinese New Year because that's when the shopping season is the hottest.
Yeah.
If I missed it, then it's going to be very hard to introduce the brand into the market. So it's Chinese New Year, so it's all about cheongsam. So it's a very simple design thought in the sense I'm just going to make a bunch of cheongsams, bodycon, flare, romper. So there wasn't a lot of fancy designs going. It's just all based on cheongsam and what kind of body silhouette.
Whatever that was in trend back then?
It's not more like in trend, it's just very basic cuts to let the fabric stand out. I just need to do a bodycon, one that is fit and flare, one that is not bodycon, one that is a romper, and then just use up the fabric, and then that's it. That's how we launched.
Right.
So my mom, she's Indonesian, right? So she already has some tailors contacts in Indonesia, so they help us rush it out, and everything was worked within the family. We needed models, we need to do photo shoots. So my dad is the photographer using his iPhone. I did get like my friend to help us shoot also, and the models were just my brothers, my mom, my dad, and myself. And then in January we just launched it just in time for Chinese New Year, and people really do buy batik cheongsams and clothing for Chinese New Year. So I'm like, whoa, people really do buy. Since I'm jobless now, right? Why not just make this a thing? Like apart from cheongsams, now maybe we should do more casual everyday wear. So everything is just based on what we want to wear, what me and my mom want to wear, and then that's how we started.
Okay. So I mean, since like the whole thing actually just started.
It's quite random. Yeah, the batik life chose me. I didn't choose the batik life. The batik life chose me.
Yeah, and then how much do you actually set aside to sort of give it a test to see whether this is something that
I think the very initial one we didn't really calculate, but all in all, including when we moved to Jalan Pelikat to have a little unit and like some minor reno plus the cost of the fabric and material, I think it's about 40K.
So that was your startup cost.
Yeah, can kind of put it that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, the very initial first batch of fabric my mom bought, it wasn't that much, but I just lumped that whole sum together. It's roughly there.
So actually when you promised your mom, or like you told your mom, okay lor, was it a really okay, let's do it, or okay
it's just
lor, I'm just answering cause my mother says this.
I'm just answering because I have nothing to do.
Okay, but do you expect your mom to actually bring back like a pile of batik fabric?
I do expect her to bring back because I told her okay lor, so she will
she will make it into
she'll buy the fabric back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but why batik especially? Yeah. Do you have a passion for batik?
To be honest, I didn't start off with as being a batik lover. I'm not like a batik lover, like someone who is so into the craft. I didn't start off as that.
Yeah.
To me, at that point when my mom brought the fabric back, I'm like, okay, this fabric looks very different from what I thought batik is. Because it's not the ones that I grew up around, kind of like the small old-fashioned kind of.
Well, what's the old-fashioned?
I don't know, very small, tiny flowers. It's just a lot of like flowers. It just doesn't look nice. Yeah. Maybe it's not just the fabric, it's the design of the clothes as well.
And the colours, is it?
And the colours probably, it's just different from what I thought batik is. So my first impression was, wow, it's so nice. There's all these phoenix, there's all these colours, there's all these patterns, there's even pastels, bright colours. It's not what we thought it is, like being black and brown, traditional, like what we see the ministers or whoever wear on TV, that kind of style, it's like very different.
Yeah.
So my first thought was like, wow, it's so nice. I can't believe this is batik, like something like that. So then only then I start to Google and like research what is batik. And then somewhere like running the business, we decided to pay the crafters a visit. We went to Indonesia to like, the batik kampongs where they make the batik.
Yeah.
That's when we realized, oh my God, they are all so patient, like, drawing the batik, hand stamping and all. And that's when you start to realize this craft is very unique and intricate. It's just something that's very different from the Singapore pace of life. Over here, everything's just about being so fast and efficient, like let's get it done, blah, blah, blah. At the top of the mind is always efficiency. But over there, it's just
quality.
It's just a slower pace of life. Like the things they prioritize on is different. And it just makes you appreciate it more on how the people treat us, how they treat each other. It's no longer just like a craft. It feels more like a way of life for them.
Okay.
And that's when we feel like, oh my God, we need to like, try to preserve this culture and heritage, this craft. Yeah. So What's the question again? Why batik? Yes.
Yeah, why batik?
Yeah, so I think my mom is Indonesian, so she's in Jogja, and it just so happened that she just chanced upon a lot of batik fabric, and she just like called. So I feel like it's by fate that this thing happened.
Came about.
Yeah, came about. Yeah.
Batik choose you, didn't choose batik.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and what is or what are some misconceptions that actually a lot of people have with regards to batik? Because I mean, for me, when people say batik clothing, I always have this, it's just this particular kind of
Very
clothing.
Small, intricate, binding flowers, the SQ print.
Yeah, but I don't ever think that it's something else. So is there a misconception as to how people actually perceive this word or what it should be actually?
Yeah, so actually batik is a technique, but I think it's because of the influences around us and what we see when we grow up that batik carries a certain look,
Certain image.
a certain image in your head. When you mention batik, there's a certain visual that appears in your head. So it's like when I tell my friends, I'm selling batik, and they're like, why are you doing this? Or my friends will tell me, but this don't look batik. And I was like, what do you mean by don't look batik? What is a batik look? Yeah, it's actually a technique, but I get where they are coming from because Indonesia is the country that kinds of, I wouldn't use the word glorifies, but they do it so much that it's recognized by UNESCO, and there is a certain look that was traditionally drawn, or there's a certain look that we see when we grow up, like the Singapore Airlines uniform, or there's a certain look when we watch on TVs, the people who attend functions and wear batik. There's just a certain look
to it, right? Yeah.
to it. So that's how people feel like when we mention batik, but actually there's also pastel batik. It's a technique. You can make the copper stamp in your own designs and everything. So to me, it's like, I see it as like a canvas for artists to create. It's almost like there's oil painting, there's canvas painting, there's different types of painting, there's different types of medium. So batik is just another medium where you can translate your art into this form on the fabric, in a sense, made into a copper stamp drawn using wax. Yeah.
And I really do feel your personality being expressed through actually your brand, YeoMama Batik. Because after speaking to you a few times, you are definitely one of I don't know. It's very bright and it's very joyful when I speak to you, and I can actually see that through the clothes that you have as well. Yeah, so it's I do agree with you saying that it's just a way of expression of ourselves lah. Yeah. So what are some difficulties you have when coming up with designs for your brand?
I wouldn't say for a start the challenges comes in terms of designs, because it's from a very selfish standpoint where I just want to make clothes for myself to wear, and it just needs to be made from batik. Because I'm running this business, I just want to be batik 24/7. I cannot be not in batik. That kind of thought, when you just started a business, and you just want to take every chance to promote, right? So it's really based on my lifestyle. So when I first started, maybe I was 28. I'm still kind of partying. So there were a lot of crop tops, slit pants here, slit there, slit here, cut out there, cut out. Because that's what I want to wear to gatherings and when I go out with my friends. So it made a lot of that. And then for my mom, because she, like the elderly woman, they have concerns when it comes to dressing, like, the veins behind your knee pits, you want to cover that. Your arms, you want to cover that. And you don't want like a fitted, too fitted of a waistline. You want to hide that and stuff. Correct. So I think my mom's concern is a lot of the aunties or a lot of the elderly ladies' concern. So we also have a fair bit of A-line dresses, and it relates to people, and that's how we started. So in terms of design challenges, I wouldn't say there's a lot of design struggles, because we are just basing off what we want to wear, and just nice what we want to wear is relatable to our target audience. Yeah. So as long as it's always being very relatable to your audience, I don't think we have very strong design challenges or struggling coming up with new designs. Yeah.
So how has that changed your family dynamics? Because now you you actually started the whole thing as a mother-daughter duo, right?
Yeah.
And I was watching some of the videos that you had. So I mean, you used to be labeled as the rebellious child within
The family.
your family, yeah. So the naughty one lah.
Yeah,
right?
the naughty one, yes.
So how has that changed the family dynamics? Because now that you guys have a business that you do together.
Yeah. Sometimes I think about it, I feel like it's quite an irony that like I'm doing this with my mom because I always feel like growing up we had the most conflict.
Yeah.
It's also because she has high expectations of what a doctor, what a woman should be like, what are certain skill sets that we must have. So she might be more strict. And my family is quite traditional. So we have the mix of traditional values with, you know, like the entrepreneurial spirit that we need to have growing up.
Yeah.
So I am the more naughty one, but it's not like rebellious, I would say. I don't know lah. Basically, just out of my 3 siblings, I'm the more mischievous and the more playful one probably. And it's surprisingly that through this whole business journey, it kind of brings me closer to my mum. Because, you know, when you're at the rebellious age, you probably speak lesser to your parents. You don't know what to say. Everything that comes out of your mouth and comes out of their mouth just feel like it's going to be a clash of conflicts.
Yes,
like we don't understand, they don't understand us.
Yeah.
So when I went into my first few jobs, I worked like 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, like, you know, a fixed standard hours. Morning, wake up, okay, eat breakfast, okay, bye. Then at work, we don't speak at all. And then come back late at night, just dinner and then just bye. And then it's just about what's happening at work. I do share with my parents, but it's not like a major overshare. So basically the conversations kind of become a bit more
shallow, that kind of it.
I won't say shallow, but you don't share as much personal things that happen at work. And the time spent with family is not as much. It's just morning and night that gap of time also. But then starting this business, we are seeing each other very often. And because my dad also runs his business, so he kind of understands the challenges and what are the things I should look out for, what are the things I should take note, how should I speak to people, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So I will always share a lot about work with them. And, you know, small little things, ma, button drop, can you help me sew? Ma, here got this loose stitch, can you help me sew? It's always like, ma, here, ma, there, ma, here, ma, there. Then she will.
That's why
like, so it's like a transfer. So I guess it's nice that it opens up for like conversation. And because the office is like our own office as compared to when I work at somebody's place, it's not like they can come and visit often, right? So now they can come and visit often. My mom will still cook lunch for me. I still like tapao lunch to office. She'll come in and like help to like pack stuff. So we actually communicate a lot more, see each other more often, and you kind of think back and realize that all those times when me being rebellious and thought that they don't understand me, at the same time I don't understand them as well. So it's through this journey that you start to be able to see things from their perspective as well. It's just that probably being the older generation, their delivery of what they want to say is not very good, or it just doesn't sit well with us because it just happens like, you know, like a mother and child dynamic thing.
Normal. I think it's very relatable to a lot of people out there also.
Yeah, you can be very patient with your friends, and then it comes to parents that
it's the same for me lah. I mean, I'm guilty of that, and I'm trying to fix that, but I'm still trying my best
I'm
lah.
also constantly trying to fix that. It's hard. I don't know why.
I think we just take it for granted, right? Because we are closer to them, and we will feel that they will always forgive us, nonetheless. Yeah, but of course, we should be conscious of that and improve ourselves lah.
Correct.
That, because
it's very easy to say, very hard to do.
But because the thing is that we won't have them with us through our entire life. Right? So we should treasure however much time we can actually spend with them. Yeah. So on that note, right, would you say that your family is a very strong support system for you?
Yeah, I would say they are a very strong support system for myself, whether it's like personal stuff or like work stuff. You come to realize that they are always there for you regardless of anything that happened.
So I mean, when you are faced with or maybe you can share with us, have there ever been a situation throughout your journey with YeoMama Batik that you actually felt like giving up, or you felt like, oh, it's so stressful, I don't want to be doing this anymore, I just want to quit and I just want to go back to corporate again?
I think that I don't have moments like that, but it's more like there's challenges and things that I need to solve that I can't do myself. And then my family will jump in to help. So the most recent one was the latest Chinese New Year launch. Not say latest, 6 months ago, Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
The earlier this year Chinese New Year collection. Yeah, so there's a batch of like clothes that's already arrived. And there's a lot of brown wax spot and the colour, don't say the colour bleed, but there's a lot of brown wax spot and for some the colour will bleed.
Oh.
So I was so worried on how do I sell it. Yes, I can explain to people these are part and parcel of batik, it can be washed off, but people who don't understand batik, they wouldn't accept if there's a lot of spots, they will want us to wash it for them and all, right? So instead of putting it out and then having to take back and wash, we actually mass washed the whole batch at home. I was so stressed in office trying to filter out the piece and all, right, that I went home and I bring a few pieces home and I was washing and then I just break down and cry. And then my mom asked me what happened. So I just told her like, I spent so much money on this collection with all the marketing efforts it's like done. Like I really can't house the collection and then it didn't turn out well. Yeah. And then I was just very surprised the next day, my whole family came into the office to help filter out everything. Like literally everybody, including my older brother and my sister-in-law. My older brother they just dropped off their work and then just all march into the office and everybody being so loud, right? Then just sit down, like find the spot and start to filter out which one can be washed and then they bring home to wash. And then what's even more touching is my mom actually texted one of my staff, Hui Min. So Hui Min has been an intern with us and she's our very first hire, intern to full-timer to being our like manager. Now, so my mom actually texted Hui Min asking her how am I in the office? Is Desleen very stressed because she just cried after dinner, that kind of thing. So Hui Min showed me the message. I was very touched. So it's like moments like that when you realize it's your own problem, but actually the support system is so strong, they are very willing to jump in to help out. So this is just one of a more like physical instance. There were other times when I just like text my brother, like I don't know how should I approach this matter or whatever. They will all come and help. Even before this business started, my previous relationship when I break up was very funny. I break up, then I was just like crying. Then I just call Gogo,你可以来带我吗? Then Gogo just send our address. Then I just send Gogo address. The next moment he just drive down very fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Then in the car I just keep crying. Then he just drive.
He got cry home.
He never, but I think in his heart probably just feels sad. So subsequently, I think like afterwards the whole family were like concerned. Then on weekend I just want to sleep and don't want to wake up like just total blackout, just sleep. Then my brothers will come into the room. 小妹你要吃什么？我带你去吃 ice cream like whatever. So I milk it until a point where I actually feel okay. I'm just like 我要吃 ice cream. Then I think they can like sense it. Then no more treatment. Then I just back to their normal weekend life. Yeah.
Wow, you really know when.
So very funny. I remember that moment. I just text Coco. It's so funny.
Okay. So this goes to show that support system is actually very important. When it comes to be it running your own business or actually
everything
in life in general. When you're dealing with depressing things or when you're dealing with stressful situation.
It don't even need to be depressing things now. I feel like something is just an everyday thing that maybe it's just small little things build up. Like it's just that you're not in this alone. I feel like that's the most important.
So what if, for those people who actually don't have, I think you are very fortunate. You have a very closely knitted family, right? But I think a lot of us out there are not as fortunate in the sense that maybe our support system doesn't come from family. So on that note, maybe what other advice can you actually give them?
I feel like there's the family and there's the chosen family. Like your friends can be like your family as well. So you can definitely find better support system beyond the family also. And being like support system meaning it don't need to be like a village of people. It could just be just one person that tells you I trust you, I believe in you, that kind. I feel like it can be very empowering, but at the same time as like a kind of like family brand,
Yeah.
we tend to always share this family joy. So we hope that even though there may be people who didn't come from like very families like us, it doesn't mean that you can never have a family like that.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't grow up in one that's like that, you can build one for your future generation, or you can find one with other people that you can
Your own
confide
chosen
in.
family.
Yeah, your own children. So the main point is still to spread and share the joy and positivity about that. Yeah.
So when you're feeling sad, the very first thing that you do, what would it be?
Cry.
So
I cry a lot. I feel like everybody has their own coping mechanism.
Yeah.
I cry first, then think later. Yeah, I allow myself to
embrace, acknowledge that feeling that you have, cry. And how long are you in it for? Like how
long am I? It depends. Sometimes I set a time limit, sometimes I don't. Yeah, if nothing urgent or pressing to do, then I just cry until I show, cry until I don't feel like I can cry anymore.
Okay.
But sometimes I just know that it's just a very stupid thing. Then maybe just allow myself to cry the night and don't bring it over the next day, or you just set a time like it's time for me to do
something else.
Other things. Yeah. So my family, my husband also, even my team also knows that I'll just like cry, but I will tell them when I cry, when I start, I cannot stop, but I just need to cry finish and then I can get on with it.
So people are just okay lah.
Like once they understand. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's after you cry, what's the next step you do to get yourself out of it? Because usually people but they just get stuck in cry for years, some even months or years. So what is that one thing you do to move yourself from crying to actually doing something about it?
I think you just have to constantly be reminded that it's not a forever thing. It's just a passing phase. But then again, it depends on what issues you are dealing with. Yeah. So I'm lucky, like all the things that I'm crying over, like whatever. Now I think back, it's just like
小事.
Yeah, it's not like very major and big things. Most time it's like first world problems, that kind of stuff. It's like as you grow older and then you see the things happening around the world, like the war or like all these things, then you realize that your problems are just so small.
Yeah.
Then when I'm crying so much, but of course when you're in it, no one can tell you how serious a situation is, because everybody's emotions is different. Different people, different shoes.
Yeah.
Or different, you don't know what they are dealing with. So I think the best is to always have something to look forward to. And for me, all the things that I've encountered or like down moments, just know that it's a passing phase. Okay. It's just something you need to get through, but it doesn't define you, or it doesn't define your success, it doesn't define who you are. It's just that small thing in that moment. Yes, it can be very sad, it can be very hurtful, but it's not a permanent thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there something that you do to actually constantly remind yourself that? Is it all just internal, or is there any external inputs that sort of help to bring you out of it?
I actually think a lot. So what my husband always tell me is, don't put your expectations of other people onto yourself, because that is the one that kills us the most. Like what you expect of other people is.
I think it's don't put your expectation on others.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, don't put expectation on others and things that are not within your control. Why you worry for it? Things that haven't happened, why you worry? We tend to worry, right? What if?
Correct.
But the things that haven't happened, why you worry for it? Things that have passed, why are you still thinking about it?
Yes.
Yeah. But I just tell you, I just can't help it.
Yeah,
like just come to me. Then I say okay, and then you just think for this moment, you cry, and then you just don't So even though yes, he keeps saying the same thing, I don't know if he gets sick of it, but he better not be sick of it.
Cannot be sick
of it. But I just need to like understand each other. Even though every time he's saying the same thing, but every time sometimes you just want to hear it from someone else. Yeah.
I mean, even though you already know it, you just need that somebody to sort of tell you again, and then you'll be, I need to do this.
Yeah, because to be honest, I think I think about a lot of nonsense things. I don't even know why I'm thinking
It's
about
okay.
it.
I think a lot of us are overthinker. I myself also quite an overthinker.
Yeah, I think it's okay to be an overthinker. Just don't let it affect you
for too long, I would say.
Just think, just on your own.
Okay, so who in your life actually who inspires you to be who you are today?
I wouldn't say it's a specific one person. And also later my parents, one of them FOMO.
Okay, so both parents.
I'll say both parents, my family in general. Like it's always inspiring to see, like when I follow them to like Indonesia work trips, because my dad has like a business over there.
Yeah.
So last time I just go over often. He does his stuff, I do my stuff.
Yeah.
But we're always together. Even when I meet new people, he's always like lingering around. When he's speaking to his staff, I'm always lingering around.
So is that how you got your businessy trait?
I wouldn't say I got the businessy trait in that sense, but you can see how he speaks to people in a more one-to-one manner, because I can be a very straightforward person that I don't quote my words. And my dad will always say, 讲话不要这样子，你不要这样冲动，你要学会婉转一点。Then you are just like, okay. Yeah, but you know, deep down, you know what it means, but on the surface, you just don't show.
Yeah, I know. I also like that. I was just like, okay, but then I'll do it.
So basically, it's the way they treat people, the way they speak to people that I feel is more inspiring rather than like I won't say materialistic, not so much of the tangible things. It's all these intangible
soft skills,
which definitely there's still a lot to work on, because I'm a very impulsive person. I think people around me will know that. I will say something and then I regret later. That kind of stuff.
Okay. So actually previously I spoke to you before, right? And then you mentioned that when you're working as an events planner, your dad actually constantly ask you this one question.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to share with them what this question was?
Yes, last time my first job, I think it was 3 months already. My dad was like, 你几时要 quit? 要做你的东西。你几时要 quit 做自己的东西 or something like that. It was constant, I think, because he himself is the entrepreneur. So he aspires for that for his children
as well.
And even though I'm not the oldest, but probably because my older brother is very studious. He's still studying his masters or whatever. So probably I'm the first one to enter society in that sense. So maybe you see me working at events. Previously, I was teaching piano. So it's the same. He just feels like there is more to life than that. So he's constantly asking me, when am I quitting? When am I quitting to do my own stuff? Blah, blah, blah. So I actually spent a long time trying to tell him I still enjoy working, because there's so much to learn from my bosses on how they make people, deal people. There's so many stuff, and I enjoy creativity and everything. And I think he eventually understands. And that's when I continued working and moved into my second job. And I think I worked for like 6, 7
until you broke your ankle
until I agency life burn out. But the funny thing is, when I am like 5, 6 years old and I'm a little girl, if you ask me what I want to be when I grow up, I'll just want to be a boss. I can't imagine working for somebody. But that was my answer. So I think life goes in a circle, then graduate, and then I work. So while working, I'm thinking, actually it's not bad that I'm not like my own boss. I go home, I don't need to think about anything. 我下班就下班了, bye. I don't need to think, right? As compared to if you run your own business, you still have to think of like so many other things that you can't work on in the office.
Your brain never stops.
Never stops, So at that point in time when I was working, that's my mentality. And then when I quit and then now I'm running my own business, it feels like it went into a full circle as to my 5-year-old ambition. And it actually feels nice to do your own thing. I feel like it's just part of life's journey to put me through the working world first before ending back in where I wanted to be since I was a little girl.
So you can fully appreciate being your own boss.
I feel like I can fully appreciate and see both sides of perspective. The perspective of an employee and as an employer is very different.
So touching on that, right? Now that you are an employer, so how has...
And my mom's employee.
So how has that sort of affected you in how you actually treat your employee? Because you used to be in your position, right?
Yeah. I feel like how it affects is not necessarily pertaining to work relationships or like an employer-employee thing. I think it's a broader perspective of treating people in general. You will start to be able to realize that there's always two sides to a coin. There's always two sides to a story. Like not everything is one-sided. You will be able to see things from different perspectives, or sometimes step out of it and see it from the outside, be it at work with the team of the crafters and tailors, or life in general. Yeah. I just feel like you become more wholesome. I don't know if wholesome is the correct word, but it becomes more not so single track.
Like you do take into account their well-being, their welfare.
And what is it that they are chasing after in life? Because I know I'm an employer, but sometimes, yes, I still tell them at the end of the day, it's just a job. You know, it's just a job that, yes, it needs to pay you and it still needs to fulfill you, but there's other things apart from work. Do you like to travel? Or do you want to do your own thing or whatever? I just feel like there's always something more than just work.
Right.
And I want them to understand that I understand that as well, because last time when I'm working I was also very naughty. I also
It's Nick.
it's Nick and stuff like that, yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, being a founder yourself now, right? How do you think you have changed comparing yourself to back when you were an employee? Not much.
I think people that meets me are still say, "Oh, you're still the same. You're still crazy, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, it's because last time got clients, right? So whatever. I decided I need to taper to the client's need. Now got no client, I can do whatever I want.
But
client is a target audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, the difference, I would say it's always heartwarming when I meet back old friends and they say that you never change. I feel like certain parts didn't change, and there's certain parts that I wouldn't use the word change, but probably mature or more grown up.
Yeah,
it's probably more like treating people, the way you treat people, the way, I don't know, it's very intangible.
Okay, it's intangible growth. You cannot really pinpoint to it as to how you changed as a founder now. Only people who have known you as employee and employer would know.
I feel like your mental strength becomes stronger.
Right.
Yeah, you realize you can actually do a lot of things at one time. One time. I don't know, it just feels like a lot of inner growth and mental.
Is there a way, or is there something that you do to actually help you grow mentally? Or help you become stronger?
I think I never do anything intentionally to grow that way. I feel like it's just all these experiences and mistakes along the way. Things you say wrongly, things you do wrongly, people's toes that you have stepped and oh shit, kind of things, and I can't turn back or whatever. So you just constantly learning from all these experiences that nobody is able to tell you how to react. Nobody is actually going to teach you how to react. Even though, yes, my parents can advise, but how you put it across, how you deliver the speech, I think it's still up to you yourself to see. How you refine it, how you adjust your tone to. I feel like my biggest problem is always my tonality and being very direct to the team. So that is always a work in progress. But so in general, I feel like it's a lot of internal
reflection,
growth. Probably that. But when it comes to play, I still try everything aside and just play and when it comes to work, can be very serious also.
Okay. So I mean, of course, instead of focusing on spilled milk, you actually do focus on more on how you can
more milking.
Okay, sorry. Instead of focusing on spilled milk, you focus more on how to improve yourself. So do you focus more on your strengths or weaknesses actually?
My strength. I know what my weaknesses are, and I feel like I wouldn't want to waste time making my weaknesses not so weakness-ish, depending on certain things. But definitely focus on my strength and hiring people work with people who can complement
Your
my weakness.
Yeah. So I think that's a very good takeaway from Desleen here, because I think most of us, or Singaporeans actually, we tend to work on improving our weaknesses instead of level up or upgrading our strength. Yeah, so I think it's a good change in a shift in mindset if you were to capitalize on our strength and make that even better, while we actually sort of delegate and outsource to improve or complement our weakness lah.
Yeah.
Especially when we are working in a
Yeah,
corporate
especially when you're
setting.
like short of time
Yeah.
and then I have all these like variables around you, like kind of like little tumbling blocks. I rather focus on my strengths.
Yeah. So actually, going back a bit to who inspired you. So you mentioned that your dad has always been telling you, Desleen, what you're doing.
My parents are in general.
Yeah, mom and dad. Yeah, in general. So in your perspective, right? What is women empowerment to you? Do you think that only women can actually empower each other, or you think that men actually plays quite a huge part in that as well?
Yeah, I think women empowerment is largely about mutual respect, respecting one another. So that is actually regardless of your gender, regardless of your age or whatever. Everybody should be respecting each other. And growing up, I'm surrounded by a lot of guys, mainly because I grew up with two brothers.
Yeah.
And my dad, and they have always encouraged me to pursue things I want to do. So I feel like this whole topic about women empowerment, it should involve voices of men as well, because I think men also plays an important role in women empowerment. So like instead of just instead of topics just about being women, celebrating women, there should also be topics about men celebrating women. Yeah, because gender equality or women empowerment or being this year's theme, embrace equity and whatnot, it's always about looking at things from the broader perspective and supporting and respecting one another, and that should come without any prejudice or categories or like all these things. It should just be the very basic form of human mutual respect.
Then how do you think everyone can actually play a part in empowering one another to achieve the best version of themselves?
Everyone can play a part. I think it's not about an occasion or a thing. It's more like an everyday thing. Like, because like strong women need not just be people who have amazing careers. Even the aunties, my neighbors, like whoever's moms, they are all strong women, even though they don't have, not all have like a strong career. People see them as like a HDB auntie or housewife. They are also strong women because it's not easy to sacrifice so much of your time just to constantly give and give. So these are all strong women who we should celebrate as well. And it can come in the form of everyday things like, 妈我今晚回家吃饭. Like, just like probably being there kind of thing. It can be very small things. Yeah.
Okay, and so for maybe for people who actually have the idea to embark on their journey to start their own clothing brand, do you have any piece of advice for them? Or like what might be some potential pitfalls that or obstacles that they will face along the way?
I think there'll definitely be a lot of challenges. Communication is always the biggest challenge. Communication internally, externally, and then because it boils down to everything like sourcing, production, marketing, everything is always about communication. I can't actually remember or pinpoint exactly what is the exact challenge, but just always know that these challenges are not forever, because if you decided to embark on something on your own, you should also be prepared to be a very hands-on person to tackle all these problems and constantly find solutions, because like there's a reason why you want to do it, and that reason should be strong enough to carry you through all the challenges. Yeah, so everything that happened along the way, just always find a way to resolve it and know that it's not the end of the world. There's always a solution around things. Yeah.
Okay, so from what I hear is that if you want to start anything at all, we have to be very clear of our intention, our end goal. What is the end goal or destination that you want to reach?
I wouldn't really say end goal because sometimes I also don't know what my end goal is, but I just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment probably. And then one of my good friends told me once, and I feel like this quote has stuck with me forever. She will just tell me the only thing between you and your dream is yourself. And I feel it's stuck true. Like a lot of times what we want to do, we will find excuses and reasons to procrastinate and like blah, blah, blah. But technically at the end of the day, it's just down to you whether or not you want to do. So the thing that is between you and your dream is essentially you. Yes, there may be scenarios and situations and circumstances that's not within your control, that's kind of not in your favor, that prevents you from achieving it entirely. But I still believe there's a way to work around it. You may not hit your original dream 100% because realistically speaking, a lot of things can happen in life, but if you can get like a 70% joy of it, modify your dream a bit, and 30% being realistic and doing like the mundane things. I don't know what I'm talking anymore, but yes, there's always a way to work.
Get around it.
I just feel like when you are young, everything is like a beautiful world of rainbows and butterflies. You don't want to grow up, you don't need to care about bills or housing or loans or like whatever, you just do whatever you want. So that is like the 100% dream world. But then as you get older, things happen. You will start to have like bills, loans, whatever. Maybe you need to take care of a family member, being a caretaker. And of course that robs you of some time. But that doesn't mean you still can't pursue your goal. I feel like it can still be tweaked and you can still find joy in other things. So it's always a balance of being the dream and the realistic. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but I feel like it's a lot about balance.
Okay, and what I wanted to ask is, what goals do you actually have for yourself and for YeoMama Batik in the next few years?
Every time someone asks me this, my answer changes every single time, depending on where I am at that point in life.
I mean, it's true.
It changes all the time.
Yeah.
As of now, you know, last time when you're single and all, people just say, oh, enjoy your single life. Because once you get married, things will be different. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? And then now I just realize, oh yeah, I get what you're talking about. But then, so my goal is definitely to still bring YeoMama Batik to become an internationally recognized brand. How big it goes, I don't know. How big I can take it to, I also don't know, because we also in the age where we need to plan for a family and stuff. Yeah. And that will change everything also. But all in all, at the end of the day, my goal in life is still to be able to find things that makes me excited. I am a very like all about passion kind of person. Find things that make me excited about. Like right now, I'm so excited about like the new designs and stuff, but I still need to balance with the reality of what are the cutting people like and what are the things that kind of keep the business sustainable. But I still need that little spark in making fun things. Like my brother's wedding, like, you know, the cake and the bling. It's not a main business thing that we do, but it makes me very happy. So in general in life, I just feel like you need to find a balance between the realistic world and still find something that sparks joy, and I hope that I will still have that joy always. And of course, subsequently, family will be first. To still have a successful family and business at the same time. Yeah, I know. I just hear from people like it's not easy, you know, like balance
step by step.
Yeah, but I'm not there yet, so I'm just like imagining, thinking that
you'll be
able to juggle like both at the same time.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to reach there with the right support system and the mindset you have now.
Correct. As long as, you know, people understand you, people around you are able to support you in the ways that will help you. Yeah. Then, because I feel like people around you needs to know how you react to know what is your coping mechanism. Yeah, because this person can be like, oh, I will always like, be there, or like their way of supporting might be different from what you want. So you just need to be able to reach a point where the loved ones know who you are and how you want to be supported. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of communication is needed on that also.
Yeah.
Okay, Ken. I think today we managed to have a lot of insightful comments from Desleen, and hopefully with those people who are budding entrepreneurs who want to start a clothing brand, this will actually give you guys a better sense of direction on how to go about achieving it. So before we go, Desleen, would you like to give YeoMama Batik a shout out? And you can.
Yay, I love my family! Please follow and like and share at the link below. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Or like check us out on YeoMamaBatik.com. So it is a colorful world of a lot of colorful things, as well as colorful people. So it's not just my family that we are sharing the spotlight on, but we also want to share spotlight on our customers, different people, and just celebrating you as a person. But yes, YeoMama Batik is all about be bold, be batikful, be yourself. So yeah, there's always a style for you regardless of your age, your size, your whatever. Just be yourself.
And I don't know, if you quote Chin and Rice, maybe we can get a discount. We can discuss.
Okay.
No lah. Kidding. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming
to the
set, and I will send you the stuff lah.
Okay.
After it's done. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Chin Up and Rise. We have also collated the key pointers of today's episodes. All you can do is actually click the link down below to have access to all this. And you can also follow us on the social media handles down below for more content and update. Before you go, do remember to give us a like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.